Hi, welcome back to another F1 fantasy video with me, Tom. A little bit later than usual this week, just because, combination of being ill and just generally busy with work and family stuff. But here I am now on a Thursday evening. Waiting this long has actually meant we got a little bit more information with like potential grid penalties, that sort of thing. So it's always useful. Because I was thinking it's going to be a really easy choice this week. I was thinking, straightforward, and it still might be that, but it still gives me some pause for thought of all these grid penalty things going on. So, yeah. Anyway, before I get into the actual team selection, I do want to say that I'm going to be doing a live stream this Saturday ahead of the deadline. Around about 2:15, something like that. It's within the hour of like the deadline, so I'll be loading up on YouTube. So come join in the fun. I'm going to focus as much as I can on the chat, so I can interact as much as I can, as much as I possibly can with you guys. Try not to focus too much on what's going on in my head, because I think my team's going to be fairly well sewn up, even despite the grid penalties. But yeah, come join me in the deadline stream, and ask me questions if you got some questions about your fantasy team, etc., etc. And we can just have a little bit of a chat about things, and it'll be interesting. So yeah, come join me ahead of the qualifying deadline on Saturday. But anyway, before that, we've got some meat to get stuck into here. Nice juicy steak with Monza team selection. So yeah, this is my team at the moment. This is a team I went triple Ferrari. My God, what was I thinking? I haven't touched my team at the moment because there's no point. The transfer market is just completely dead. Like Hackerman's just being eradicated by the looks of it, which hopefully it stays like that forevermore. But yeah, this is my team. Went triple Ferrari, which is a couple of weeks ago I would have been laughing if anyone went triple Ferrari, like you crazy fool. But yeah, I went triple Ferrari. Pretty much paid off. I had a pretty solid week. It would have been a lot better if I'd turbo driven Leclerc. I went with Carlos Sainz for a couple of reasons, because he's on a quali streak. So if he did have a bad race, I had a little bit of a buffer. Like, whereas if Leclerc had a bad race, then like a DNF or whatever, then it would have hurt a lot more. So I went with Carlos Sainz as a bit of a safety valve, and as well as Sainz just sort of performing well. But unfortunately, he got Ferrari'd. So yeah, it didn't go so well with the turbo driver. The rest of the team did really well though. Very happy with George Russell picking up like 50 odd points. Great stuff. On the double streak. And yeah, so in general, the team did pretty well. I'm just inside the top 15,000 now, so I know a lot of you guys are up and around that sort of mark as well, and some of you even higher, which is fantastic. It's really great. That's the whole point of me doing these videos, to try and help as many of you guys as I can. To push me back further down the rank, apparently. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy. I'm very happy actually with my rank at the moment, and hopefully we can sort of maximise going into Monza. So going into Monza, this is exactly what I'm thinking right now. We're going to bring in the Red Bulls, because the Red Bulls are just quick, aren't they? They're on a quali streak, so it's already a big bonus. We have a quick look at the spreadsheet, and we can see their value. You see this column up here. Their value is actually, it's better than every other constructor on the grid at the moment. It's even overtaken Ferrari. Ferrari being like the king of value like throughout the season, but Red Bulls are just so strong at the moment. And so despite them costing like 6 or 7 million more than the Ferraris, they're actually more valuable in terms of points per million per race. So yeah, the Red Bulls really, really just exciting. The Red Bulls are going to be very fast around Monza. We all know how fast the Red Bulls are in a straight line. It's frighteningly quick. So yeah, I think it's just for me very easy pick. Get Red Bull back in there. They've actually, funny enough, dropped a percentage. So a bunch of people must have transferred it out for Ferrari, which I find very surprising, because Ferrari gone up from 45 to 46. Red Bull have gone from 19 to 18% in terms of ownership. So yeah, maybe because Ferrari weren't even that spectacular around Zandvoort, but for whatever reason, people are back on Ferrari. That suits me, because I think Red Bull are going to be dominant this weekend. Talking of Red Bull, Russell's going to go, because I don't think the Mercedes is going to be particularly quick around here. We saw what it was like around Spa, down those straights. It's just not very quick. I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was around Spa, particularly in qualifying, but I just don't think it's going to be anywhere near as good. So I was going to bring in Sergio Perez, who's also on the race streak. Carlos Sainz also on a race streak, which is great. I was pretty much going to go over a team like this. I was even considering chopping Stroll down to an Albon, just because the Williams is also, Monza is all about straight line speed, basically. It's just straight chicane, pretty much. I mean, that's very much dumbed down and simplified track layout, but yeah, it is pretty much all about the straights. So yeah, I do think the Williams is strong in a straight. Albon's proved that a couple of times this season, and again, most recently in Spa, where he held on to that valuable point for Williams in 10th place. So I do think Albon is a good pick this weekend. I have seen some photos of Aston Martin's latest rear wing for Monza, and it's almost like a sheet of paper. It's basically no rear wing, so they're looking for like extreme speed through the straight, but Aston Martins have struggled through the straights so far this season, and I'm not sure just changing the rear wing is going to make a massive difference. So yeah, I am tempted to go Lance Stroll down to Albon, even though I've got the budget to have Stroll, and I still think Stroll will be kind of a fine, safe pick. But Albon could actually be better, even though he costs less. So it kind of makes it's tempting just to use the budget up and bring in Lance Stroll or keep Lance Stroll. But for me, I think Albon could be the better pick this weekend potentially. So I could very much go with a team like this. I was thinking of putting the turbo driver on Perez. Now there is a rumor about both Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez taking grid penalties. They could be starting at the back of the grid. We've already had Hamilton confirmed. I think Bottas confirmed. I think Schumacher, although I might be wrong. There's been so many rumours, it's hard to remember what's a rumour and what's official. But I think Schumacher's starting at the back. Tsunoda also has got a grid penalty of I'm not sure if it's actually at the back or if it's just like a 10-place grid penalty or something like that. It's not going to be too relevant because Tsunoda shouldn't be in anyone's team anyway because he's just really rubbish. Look at him sat there on 46 points. It's just not good. So don't have Tsunoda in your team. But yeah, especially not this weekend because I'm pretty sure he's got a grid penalty because of a certain amount of infringements or something. It's not to do with taking power unit components, but for whatever reason, Tsunoda's starting further back than he should be. So yeah, basically I'm going to go with a team like this, and the thing I'm worried about though is these grid penalties, and if Sainz and Perez are confirmed as grid penalties, do I want to change anything? I'm thinking no, because I'm not sure there's too much other team structure you can have that's gonna score much better than this anyway, because I still think even if Perez and Sainz starting at the back, they're still on the race streak. I still would expect them very much to fairly comfortably, as long as Carlos Sainz doesn't get Ferrari'd again, both Perez and Sainz should fairly comfortably get back into that top 10 and knock off the extra 10 points each. So that's 20 points just sat there with a team like this. I don't know. It's really impossible to actually predict how qualifying is going to go and who's going to take part in qualifying and how far into will Perez and Sainz go to Q3 if they're starting at the back. They probably will, particularly if they're both starting at the back because they want to get ahead of each other. Starting P18 over P19 could be important. And also, I've already mentioned there's a couple of people confirmed at the back of the grid, so they want to be ahead of them. So the likelihood is they will take part in qualifying. Which means they get their qualifying points, which is great. It does also mean that they're going to get minus points if they don't make those positions back up. Because, if they qualify, for example, 5th, and then they start 20th, then they've got to get all the way back from 20th to 5th just to negate the minus points for positions lost from qualifying positions. But I do think, just given the general speed of the Ferraris and the Red Bulls against the rest of the field, they should fight their way through. As long as it's a clean race, which, this is 2022. Who am I kidding if there's going to be a clean race? But they should still score fairly well. So I'm still fairly confident going with a team like this. The alternative would be to max out on Red Bull, but I can't actually get to a maxed out Red Bull team without taking a minus 10 or a minus 20. I mean, I could literally, I don't know, what can I do here? I can get rid of both the Ferraris basically and go down to a Magnussen or something. You can see here, this is going to cost me a minus 20 to go all in on Red Bull. I could stick Stroll in there on 0.3 short, so yeah, I can't quite do that. So yeah, the only way to get literally all in on Red Bull for me is to take a minus 20, and I'm just no way going to do that. Just not. I'm not a fan of minus 10, so no way am I a fan of minus 20s. If some of you on a wild card potentially, maybe you want to go all in Red Bull, then you could go with a team like this, and that's also kind of fine. But I think the Ferraris still offer good value, even though they're Ferrari drivers and they've got the Ferrari strategist behind them, which is a bit scary. But Sainz on the race streak, which he should hit, providing there's nothing dramatic going on. So yeah, I'm just going to stick with the template most likely. But I want to hear some more news about the back of the grid shenanigans. And yeah, we'll get all of that in FP1, FP2, FP3. We'll understand. We'll all know this before qualifying comes up. We'll know what's going on, and that's why I think the stream is a good idea this weekend, because not only do I get to interact with you, but I'll be able to relay any up to date news, and we know exactly who's starting where. Hopefully by then, we can also have a look at the hypothetical qualifying. So we'll have FP1, FP2, FP3. So I'll get my hypothetical qualifier out because I'm want to geek out over you, geek out a little bit on the live stream with this spreadsheet. So that's pretty much it from me for Thursday evening thoughts, and I'll catch you hopefully on Saturday for the live stream. I'll be there. Will you? Who knows? So anyway, thanks very much for watching, and yeah, hopefully catch you in a couple of days. Looking forward to it, and thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.